Good morning. The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today is Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. It's 8:32 a.m. My name is Cheryl Renatza, serving as chairman of today's parole panel. My colleagues on the panel today, seated to my left is Mrs. Pearl Wise and to my right is Mrs. Bonnie Jackson. Would staff here at DOC headquarters please introduce yourself for the record?
Right. Well, Parole.
Francis Abbott.
Okay, and our remote location this morning is at Elaine Hunt Correctional Center with the staff at Hunt. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning. Warden Donnie Bartlaw.
Christy LeBlanc, classification.
Joe Buttress, Assistant Warden.
Thank you. And so we are ready for our first case. Mr. Lewis, would you introduce yourself to us? Tell us your name and DOC number, please, sir.
William Lewis, 49-145.
And this morning, Mr. Lewis, we have counsel here in Baton Rouge with us. Sir, would you introduce yourself?
Andre Delon.
All right. And would you, usually the attorney will wrap it up at the end after he makes a statement.
I
Okay.
appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Also joining us today, Mr. Lewis, for your information, Kenesha Gregoire, Sylvia Lewis, Aisha Lewis, Jackie Gregoire, Kenneth Gregoire. We have Representative Marcus Bryant and Keontae Lee. And some of those folks will be allowed to speak and will do so at the appropriate time. First, I'll read some identifying information in the record. I'll ask you to verify it. And then your case has been assigned to Mrs. Wise this morning. She'll take the lead on the interview. We'll hear from one and those who have indicated they want to speak on your behalf. And then you'll be allowed to make a statement before we turn it over to Mr. Belanger. Okay, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Lewis, you are classified as a first felony offender, currently serving a 40-year sentence for manslaughter and armed robbery. You received 40 years on each of those offenses. The sentence is running concurrently, so it's a total of 40 years DOC. Your parole eligibility date is July the 4th, 2023. Your good time date is January 16, 2031. Does all that sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, would you answer Mrs. Wise, please?
Good morning.
Morning.
How's it going?
I'm all right, blessed.
Good to hear. Call out for the record how long you've been in jail on this sentence.
25 years and 10 months.
Years and 10 months. And how old are you today?
44.
44. How much education do you have?
I have my high set job life skills.
Right, good. How old were you when you committed this offense?
19.
Age 19. Okay, and you are listed as a first offender. I just want to state that for the record. Who were you back then? Tell us who you were back then.
I was a young man. I was an all-American football player, led a streak, living a fast life, selling drugs, doing things and hanging with people I wasn't supposed to be hanging around. I had a career, but I chose to go the wrong way. Different situations at home, dealing with my mother, led me to the street life. I made some decisions in my life and I'm not proud of them. I'm really remorseful for my decisions I made.
Do you remember the motivation for going with your friends and not staying with the coach and the basketball and that whole scene? Do you remember what the motivation was? What were you after?
Ma'am, can you repeat that?
What were you after when you started hanging up with the guys and not staying with the coach and the basketball team? And because in sports, you really become a team, you become a family, everybody's just, but you stepped away from that family and moved to the street family. What was the motivation? What were you after? What did you need?
I was really looking for love in the street in the wrong place, and I had it right in front of my face with the team.
Yeah. But was it an economic gain? Was it because you couldn't need the income?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't put the words in your mouth. I'm just asking.
No, I didn't have. I was on the streets. I didn't have money and nothing. I started selling drugs, but I was living a double life, playing sport uneducated, backed myself up in a hole, and they had no other way to come out.
Okay. Okay, the part of this process, we give the opinion of the law enforcement community about your early release. And, there is opposition, expressed, to your early release, and nothing you can do about it. I just want to state that on the record. I see that, let's talk about your disciplinary. When was your last write-up?
August 10th, 2021.
And what was that about? It was a 30W, what was that?
I was on a road crew. I just come in, trustee. The officer found some drugs on a trailer. It's like 4 or 5 of us over that was working. And the typical protocol, they locked the whole crew up. Because he didn't see who put it there. He didn't know who put it there, so the whole crew went on an investigation.
Okay, and then before that, it was 2019, right? Was your last write-up?
Yes, ma'am.
And I did want to state for the record that you did get your high set 11/4/22. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Congratulations on that. We had a young man,
Thank you.
we had a young man this week that said that high set is a lot harder than that GED.
It is.
Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know, but that's what he said.
I called my mother. I was proud of myself.
Should be. Yeah, I know she was too. And I did see that when you first graduated from high school, you went to Pearl River Community College for about 8 months, right?
Yes,
What were you
ma'am.
making then? Do you remember?
I was getting my highs at first, and I was on a football team out of scholarship to play football, but I didn't complete the high set.
Oh, okay. Okay, that was in 1997. So they were really working with you. They was really trying to make it happen for you, weren't they?
Yes, ma'am.
You had some people on your side. Okay, all right. And I want to talk about the victims. Probation parole was successful in reaching and contacting the family of your victim. And there is some opposition been expressed. And I want to state this on the record because the mother, in her letter, she addressed you as Mr. Killer. Think when you hear that.
I deserve it. What I did was wrong. Senseless. I'm sorry. I take full responsibility for my actions, full accountability as well. And through these programs, I got a full understanding of what I've done, the magnitude of what I've done. I understand I hurt a whole family, a whole community. I'm sorry for my actions.
I saw you took victim impact in April of 23, right? You completed that.
Yes,
What was
ma'am.
some of your takeaways from that?
In those testimonies, I had to really personalize the whole situation, because after reading every situation, you have to really empathize. They'll ask you a question. How would you feel if that was your mother? How would you feel if that was your grandfather? And it gave me a full understanding. It caused a ripple effect through the whole community, through the whole family. You have your primary victim, the secondary victim, the tertiary victim. Everybody's a victim. There's no such thing as a victim of crime. Selling drugs is a victim. Gun violence is a victim. And I'm sorry for my actions. I fully understand what I've done and the magnitude I've done. I hurt a family, I hurt a community.
Hey, that's good to hear. Sounds like you paid attention in class. And you do have a low tiger. I just want to state that for the record. There's an indication that a compact has already been accepted to Texas. Is that your plan? If you're successful today, you plan to move to Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of, how would you support yourself?
I have a job waiting for me offshore. My childhood friend I went to school with, he owns United Fire Safety. I'll be living with my aunt.
And also, you were tell us some of the things you've been doing in the prison. What are some of the other jobs that you had?
Right now, I'm a mentor for the young adult program, helping some of these other young kids not make some of the same decisions I made, helping them get out their box that I was in. I learned, use the techniques I learned to help them. And my testimony help them change their thinking. So that's what I'm doing now. I invest my whole heart in trying to make a difference, making a change. So some of them youngest don't have to be sitting right in front of you where I'm sitting at today.
I saw you had casual rage and you've had living in balance as well, right?
Yeah.
Was drug use a part of your history?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you use?
I use marijuana and occasionally dabble in cocaine.
Oh, okay. Do you think you need any kind of treatment?
Yes, ma'am. I'm currently still in AA and NA at the moment. I don't learn the product principle for the personalities.
They what now?
I learned to apply the principle for the personalities. I'm currently a member now in the AA and NA program.
So tell us, what is your sobriety plan if you're successful today? How would you stay clean and sober?
To continue my treatment in the AA program and continuously and be involved in church and community outreach, doing things that matter, keeping busy, working. But I want to stay in treatment. I've excelled since the class I took, the RDAP, the substance abuse, living in balance, the AA, I've excelled in those classes, and I want to continue on with my treatment because I understand the addiction thing is a brain disease, it's lifelong. You can only arrest it. So it continues treatment.
How many AA meetings would you attend a week if you're successful today?
It wouldn't matter, man. However many you tell me, I go every Tuesday and every Thursday now. I done feel like we done gained a sense of camaraderie being in them. You know, leaning off each other, some other guys' downfalls, some of my weaknesses, you know, lift each other up. So I enjoy the program.
All righty, well, thank you for answering my questions. Warren, what can you share with us about this young man?
Not a whole lot that wasn't already mentioned. Like y'all mentioned, he's been doing well. He's completed a good number of programs to help himself. He's been serving as a mentor in 5-6, and now he's gonna go into our young adult program, which we're starting today, as a mentor for these 18 to 22-year-old guys that are coming in. So hopefully he'll still be here a little while, even if he's granted his parole eligibility date not till July 4th. So he'll have a little time to help us get it started either way. But he's done well.
All right, thank you, Warren. That's all I had, Chairman.
I just have a clarification, Warden, maybe you can help this. On the master prison record, I see is an indication of 243 days of lost good time, but I don't see that on the conduct summary report. I see where 90 days was restored, and I do see the 90 days on the conduct summary, but I was a little confused what's in the master prison record.
Let's see. Yeah, I see that on his master prison record. Lost a good time. Looks like way back in 2019, he lost 90 days there. And let's see, maybe it's another record.
Mr. Lewis, did you lose 243 days, you think?
I don't think I know the majority of good time, no matter. No matter.
Well, they can work on that and see what that is.
I think maybe we're missing a previous sheet from the conduct summary, something prior to 2019, maybe. Or 2000, no. No, it looks like it's just 90 days on here.
That's what I saw.
Not sure.
All right. I don't see any other questions here, so let's hear from the folks who want to speak on your behalf. First, we'd like to ask Representative Bryant, is there some comments you'd like to make, sir?
Yes,
You can come right up here.
I'm the author of actually Act 120. I got it at the person legislature to restore Thomas Parole, which was initially when these gentlemen were sentenced, they were made to believe they would have overtime. They served 20 years in term. At some point, years later, they received notice that they were no longer eligible, given the extra decade of time that they would have to be in. Then, upon getting elected, friends of mine, when I say friends, I mean bipartisan friends in the legislature, allowed me to pass actions to be in a position of red cards or anything to restore the law. And at that moment, I didn't understand why I got it. But really, I learned a little bit. Actually, my district attorney that had actually changed them 20 years before. And then he was about to come in. And this is my big friend now. And he was president. So I was gracious to do it. I could have written a letter, probably not come. But I only wanted to come because we're from the same era, me and Mr. Lewis, right? I'm 45, we come from the same community, came from the same community, right? I have a 10th grade education. I got a 10th grade education. I got picked up from crack cocaine, put out of school, put out about team, sent over to GED and college, 2 degrees in law school, president, undergrad, was vice president in law school, and I've had a great life. It was 5 of us as kids. It was 5 of us. It was me. Without see but we learned. I don't want money you want to. What you want to. With Mark, that was fun, and Jermaine, Mark, freshman SEC player of the year. Mitch went to LSU, freshman SEC, 12 years in the TJ, that was Army vet. Went to the Army, went to be whatever the wars came back. Who started now coaches. Jermaine Garber, posters. Army vet, come back over and post. I'm only saying that to say that he, not talking about that, but he was raised in a brick house. He had a one-story brick house. He had family that went to work every day. I was raised by educators. Mama educated, dad educated. Right? We were the cream of the crop in our community. And then we came up we were the initial years, us turning 15 and 16, the initial year of the new Jack era. When the crack came and the drugs came and the blank and the watches and the cars and all this other stuff that your parents didn't get you. Your parents gave you what you wanted. I mean, what you needed, not what you wanted. So it was all the stuff, but guess what? My size and height was 6'2". I got big hands, not as big as one of our friends. He has great big hands in fact, this big with a pair of hands. But we were this size and this height since we were 15. We were this big in stature, right? And we were used for good. And then we looked up when we turned 15 and 16, we were used for bad. In those moments, we were particularly, we never got in trouble a day in our life. All the way through school, no elementary school girls, no getting in trouble, no high school, we could walk around high school, we could go to principal's office, we could walk around. We could go in a restaurant, they would bring us in and we didn't pay, you know, it was like we were supposed to be great. 3 of them made it. Well, I could have been here, we could have been, we just could have smiled. And he could have went on and went to law school and went to there. I could have been right here today. And that's the reason why I came, because I just wanted that story. And guess what? The law in the current situation is the same today as it was then. Now, all of the juniors are committing all the crimes because they are being recruited and made to believe that they're going to get a slap on the wrist. But this legislative session, we just passed about 20 different laws that restores age, brings back kids that are 16 and 17 are now going to be charged as adults. And they're going to be right here in 20 years with the belief that some adult that they believed in was telling them that they weren't going to get in trouble, that they weren't going to get a slap on the wrist. And that's not true. So somebody got to be with me out here trying to get these juveniles healed. Because it is a repeat process. right now, going on in 2023, that happened in 96 and 97 when we were kids. Same things are going on with the same kids in the same community. It's just a repeat process. That's it. I just wanted to say that he has a support system. Our guy, Luke, is going to give him a job. Luke graduated. Luke graduated in California. But he has a support system, and he had people. And he never got in high school. He never got in trouble. And then he went to college. And we all he was younger than us, right? So Mark went off to LSU, these guys went to the military. I went off to college. Well, my family shipped me and said, you're going to stay with your aunt. And then actually, when I got shipped to me, because I had gotten in trouble, they tried to ship it to his aunt in Robbery. And we lived in that area, but Robbery was the country, it was still slow, it was still a different area. And our coach got him back to my group for his senior, because he was an All-American, living football and all that stuff. And then he ended up getting stuck in it. And that's what I did right now. The kids right now in my area probably has a fatality, a juvenile fatality every 10 days. But it's just, I don't know what to say. But thank you. The act was to give people hope when it was old times for when it was created, the way that was given to me by the legislature, that it was created to give people when they went in, when they were young and they didn't act like he did as kids. And it was to give them hope. And everything that we got when people that came in to testify for it came in and said, 25 years old, go back to jail. They go out, they go get a job. Some people they find everybody that traditionally does the vote is mature adults that go find a job and try to do something better with it. So that's the information in our seat. That's what we'll thank you. That was it. We all were raised by our grandmothers. Our grandmothers picked us up, dropped us off. Our parents would do it. That was really just the person who coached. Had a bad moment. That took him to sustain. Very well. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming. Okay, could we hear now from Ms. Kenesha Gregoire?
Good morning.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Hi. I'm his baby sister.
Do you
my
have
brother
another
has-
device running? Do you have the YouTube on? If you do, you'll need to turn it off. We're getting some back feed.
Oh. Hold on. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm on my aunt's computer. We're at the same residence. Hi, I'm Kenesha. I'm Williams. We call him Pum. So if I say Pum, I'm referring to him. When my brother got locked up, I was in the 4th grade. I remember bits and pieces, but I can say that, we did kind of live kind of all over, mom was there, mom worked a lot, granny kind of took care of us to the best of her abilities while working, and she did her best, in raising us. But, like he said, he kind of went to the streets that I do remember. He was always gone. He was always fussed at, but speaking to my brother today, it was many times when he was locked up at the beginning, hard head, didn't listen to me. But I can tell you now that I can stand and I can say that I can lean on my brother and I can firmly believe that, in my heart that I know that he's going to come out here and he's going to make a great change to us, to the family, because just speaking to him on the phone as many times I'm in tears through just going through things out here in the community that, he speaks life into me. You know, he can encourage me. He can say, sister, you got this. I'm coming home, you know, just hold on, just be strong, you know, because we recently lost my grandmother. So I'm kind of fighting with trying to find myself and, you know, and trying to be here for my kids and my mom, which recently had a stroke also. So, you know, it's been rough. You know, but I know and I can firmly believe that he's going to be a great support to our family at this point in time. And I know and I can firmly say that in my heart, I can believe he's truly rehabilitated. You know, so I'm really looking forward to this, you know, and in prayer and everything I'm believing, and I got faith. He coming home and he come and do the right thing by all means to us as a whole.
All right, so you have Miss Sylvia there with you? She wants to
Yes, ma'am. Would you like to speak to her?
Yes, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm gonna say Palm because that's who I know. I am Palm's oldest aunt. I was there when Palm was born. Palm's mother was 13 years old when she had William. And you gotta excuse me, because I'm kind of emotional this morning. My sister was very young. So it was two kids raising two kids together. And Palm had admired my mom so much. And when my father and my mother divorced it, William thought that he had to be the man of the house. And he was only, I think, 10. So that means that the love that he was looking for, he didn't find it there because my mom was old. My mom was in her 70s. So my mom really couldn't give him any love. So the love that he wanted. So I feel like all those years, I think he learned his lesson. I have talked to William. I have prayed for William, but by the grace of God, he is going to do well because he has an auntie that loves him, that's going to support him. And when I say support, I mean financially, I mean to clothe him, because he don't have anything right now. So I'm willing to put all and everything on the line for William, because I want him to come out and I want him to do well. I want him to mentor kids so they don't have to be where he is right now. Because the way I look at the world now,
Everybody needs somebody.
everybody needs some kind of love and some kind of affection and to be learned how to be treated. And that's what I want for William. I want him to come home. I know by the grace of God that he will do well. I know that I pray for him every day for 20-something years. I never stop praying. And I'm going to continue to pray for him. I want him to come here. I have a bank account set for him. He don't have to ask anyone for anything, but I'm not going to treat him as a baby either. He has to be a man. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate your support. Is Kenneth Gregoire would like to speak? Is he there with you all?
He's on his own phone. I think he's there.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I had to put myself on mute. But my nanny Sylvia said just about everything I wanted to say about why my brother had to be in that position and why, I'm sorry, and why he acted the way he acted and why he was so defiant, because he felt like he was the man in that situation of my mama, protecting my mama. And what was not said is that my mom was in a domestic violence situation and my brother witnessed that. And it was tortured for him to witness that and to be stuck in that and to not be able to protect his mother, what he had been doing since he was born. So there was conflict between him and my father. So that's what caused him to not be in that house and not feel loved and not feel like he had anyone. And now, after he's been where he's been, he realized that we all depend on him. And when he was taken away from us, our family was affected. So he is loved. So I hope he understands that he doesn't have to be the man or act like the man. He is the man in our family, and we look up to him and we appreciate him. And we know that the person that is coming out is completely different from the person that went in, because we both live through the same thing. So I know what my brother goes through mentally. And he's different. He's a different person. He's changed. I can go to him now whenever I need something. That's my brother, my big brother that I didn't have. And that's my brother that I have now.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We
Thank you,
appreciate
ma'am.
it. All right, Mr. Lewis, is there anything you'd like to say to the panel before we turn it over to Mr. Belanger?
I will say I'm deeply emotional for my action. I would like to say I'm sorry to the family for what I done. I was wrong. I had no right to take life. But through these programs they set up in Hunts, they changed my life in such a way. They give me not only the tools just to survive, but they give me the tools to live. And I also understand and learn the techniques to help other people. That's my goal in life. That's my why. I found my why. That's my purpose. And I pledge my heart to it.
All right. Yes, sir. All right, Mr. Belanger.
Thank you all very much, and I'd like to thank the representative for his legislation. One of the things that we have with our society is that, we think that when you turn 18, now you've been given this power from on high to make all these wise decisions. And the court system has said that juveniles have the ability to be rehabilitated to such an extent that you can no longer just give them mandatory life. But when you're 18, that disappears. And so I think that the legislation kind of addresses that gap. As society, we don't, I think, know how to fully address the 19-year-old young man. At 18, you can go buy cigarettes, but you are not mature enough to buy alcohol. At 18, you can go serve in the United States Marine Corps and carry a gun, but you can't go to Cabela's and buy a handgun. And what this bill has done is given people like Mr. Lewis hope that they can come out and be a productive person in society and still have meat on the bones. And so I'm grateful for that. And Mr. Lewis has done a lot of program. He has taken as many classes as he can take. And when he's talking about his NA and continuing that, he means it. I don't think that he did a good job of explaining how that has impacted him as he explained it to me. He taught me about, he said, Andre, the 12-step program is not just about drugs and alcohol, it's about any addiction, food addiction, and their principles of life. And he looks at, he's the one that had it sink into my conscience that the 12-step program is a philosophy on life. And he said that it changed the way he thinks. And it moved me, and I wanted to share that with you. I take him at his word that he wants to be a mentor. He does not, he had an awesome opportunity. That's another example of sitting right here of the 4 friends that made it and the one that didn't. He knows that he could have been somebody and threw it away and does not want other people to have gone down and make those same poor decisions. And I hope that as a condition of release, that there could be some type of way to structure him having to do that as a service component. There's not many more programs that he can do. I know it's in the record, but I tried to organize them. He's taken a bunch of classes that frankly don't matter for your time off, but he takes them. And he tries to improve himself and control what he can control. And I do think that he is the type of person that deserves a second chance. And I do think that he's the type of person that is willing to be the exemplar as to why this whole provision exists. And he's still got a lot of meat on the bone, still a chance to connect with his family, still a chance to be a productive member of society. He's going to start off with an offshore job, so he's not going to need his money. He's going to have a really, really good job. And that's something that not everyone that comes in front of the board has an opportunity. So I think Mr. Lewis is deserving of a second chance. We don't have a time machine, can't take back that day. But he is not that person. So that's what he can do.
Thank you. All right. Yes, Mr. Wise.
Mr. Williams, Mr. Lewis, I really enjoyed meeting you today. You presented well. And you prepared for this day for a long time. And I want to commend you for that. My vote is to grant conditionally. I would like to see you stay at least one more week and work with that youth young adult program the warden started from age 18 to 22. Great sacrifice of what, huh?
I have till July 4th.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But my recommendation, my vote is one more week after that. They just emphasize the importance of that age group. And that just nailed it for me. Now, my colleagues may not see it that way, but stay 7 more days to make sure that program is successful based on your expertise. And I concur with the transfer to Texas, the compact to Texas. And once you get to Texas, I want you to do 7 hours a month community service mentoring. Now, that 7 hours includes your preparation time. You know, your preparing time, all that counts as your 7 hours. And then AA meetings at least 2 times a week, like you said, you've been doing. And I'd like to see you enroll in general counseling for a period of time that the counselor finds appropriate. I wish you well, and I look forward to reading about you.
Thank you.
Best wishes to you.
Mrs. Jackson.
All right, Mr. Williams, you've done well. You've done a lot of programming and you didn't just sit in the program. Programs actually got into you, but I look. Have good remarks from the warden, your risk assessment as well, your good support system. So my vote is to grant you state contact.
All right, Mr. Lewis, you did well today. I agree with my colleagues. My vote today also is to grant to the Texas plan with the same special conditions as outlined by Mrs. Wise. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.